guys, don't mind me just having a bit of water here. And that's my fake accent. That's not my real accent. How are you? Welcome to another day of Yoga with Deena. Here is our mat. Here's our studio. So let's do a little bit of something. So it's now December. December has started. I have a little Christmas Mickey Mouse sitting here for the fact that it's now December. So let's do a little bit of a flow. Don't forget to always have your props within reach. Props are always great to have. Today we're going to start out in a supported back bend. So supported back bend, of course, is amazing for opening up your shoulders and your upper back, your neck issues. I like to call it the anti-computer asana shape, right? Or phone asana. So we're always like either on our phones or on the computers, just kind of hunched over like doing stuff. So the idea behind this is to undo all that. So we're going to start today's class with setting this up. So if you don't have blocks, you can also use blankets. If you have a blanket, you can, any kind of blanket, if it's a yoga blanket, just unroll it from storage fold and then roll it up into a tube. And you're placing it in the same spot. So for your blocks, one goes really behind where you might have a bra strap, kind of the middle of your back. And the other one goes underneath your head. The same thing for your blanket. So one blanket goes behind your heart. The other one goes under your head. The one that goes under your head, it doesn't need to be very thick. Do make sure that it's unraveled. So here we go. The same exact setup for both. The same idea, the same placement. It's a little chilly here, so I'm going to have also a blanket within reach to place over me. So when you're setting this up, I'll show you both methods. If you're using blocks, you're holding on to the first block. So when you sit down on your mat comfortably, hold on to this block with both hands. Guide it so that it's going to be behind your heart. So you can see it's not going to be under your shoulder blades, but it's really in that middle thoracic spine. So when you're comfortably here, you should be able to hang out here pretty comfortably. Of course, we want to relax. So the second block goes under your head. And as soon as you get here, this should feel really cozy. Make sure both blocks are vertical. So both blocks are steady. You can check with your fingers that both blocks are steady on the mat. You can stay here. You can also do Supta Baddha Konasana, which means the soles of your feet touching, your knees are out wide. If you have another set of blankets or blocks, you can place them underneath your knees. So I'm just grabbing whatever I have here within reach. And then I would also recommend placing a blanket over your belly. This is actually a pretty restorative shape. This is a really nice way that I like to start class. You can also end class this way. My body already knows that when I'm here, then it's time to relax. So everything begins to melt away. If you're going to set up on blankets, it's a similar idea where you're going to have one blanket behind your heart and one underneath your head. I will just transfer over here so you can see what that looks like. So it's also a bit of a supported back bend, a bit of a supported fish. You can settle down here. So those are two options. I'm going to stay on the blocks and we'll just be here for a few minutes. And if it's rather chilly where you are, make sure that you cover your body with a blanket. You can have your legs extended or Supta Baddha Konasana. And as you begin to settle down in this shape, as you begin to settle down in your supported back bend, you can allow yourself to begin and settle down. Feeling your inhales and your exhales become even in length. As you begin your inhales, starting from the base of your belly, traveling all the way up to your lungs and coming all the way up to your throat. And as you exhale, let the breath come all the way back down. Inhale up and exhale down. Inhale up and exhale down. Take a moment to notice how you're arriving on the mat, how you're arriving in this space, in this shape, and allow yourself to set an intention for your practice. Your intention may be to bring something into class, or it may be to leave something out. Within the next few breaths, begin to come back to this room, come back to this space. You can wiggle your fingers and your toes. Place your forearms on the mat. You can safely move your blocks or blankets out of the way. And come back onto your back. Bring your knees into your chest. Give them a gentle squeeze. And exhale all the breath out. Take another long inhale, pointing your feet forward, hands above your head. And exhale, bring your knees into your chest. I'm going to bring the fingers behind the knees, rock up and down until you can come to standing. Boom! As you come into your standing, you come to the top of the mat. Your feet are about hip width apart, slightly pigeon-toed. So your big toes turn in, heels turn out as you come into your first Sadasana of the day. Allow your shoulders to drop away from your ears. Close your eyes. Bring your palms together in front of your heart center. Check in with your body so the crown of your head is parallel to the ceiling. And find the four corners of your right hand and the four corners of your left. And allow yourself to take your intention with you. So the intention you set for class, see if you can slide it in between your palms and take it with you on this journey. With your next inhale, begin to reach your fingertips up towards the ceiling. Exhale, fold forward, hinging at the hips. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way to the top. Utthita Hastasana. Tadasana, we go again. Inhale brings you up. Exhale folds you down. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way to the top. Utthita Hastasana. Tadasana. Now we're going to go for the full Surya Namaskar A. Inhale brings you up. Exhale folds you down. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, bend your knees, hands by your side. Step to plank. Hold your plank. Make sure your shoulders are stacked over your wrists. And if they're not, walk your feet forward. Engage your core slightly. Tilt your pelvis down. Take one more inhale. Really press into your hands and the heels of your feet. Exhale, lower your knees, untuck your toes, slowly lower all the way down to the ground. Your hands are by your lower ribs. Press your palms into the floor. Press the tops of your feet into the floor. Inhale up for baby cobra. Your elbows come back and up towards one another, heavy through all 10 toenails. The back of your neck is nice and long. See if you can float up your head, neck, and shoulders off the ground. Your elbows come back and up. See if you can float up a tiny bit higher. You're a tiny bit higher off the ground. One more inhale, elbows back and up. Exhale, release your knees, tuck your toes under, push up and back. Adho Mukha, downward facing dog. 5 breaths here. And every time you're in downward facing dog, see if you can check in. Are your feet parallel with the long sides of the mat and slightly pigeon-toed? Can you press into all 4 corners of your palms into the floor? If your heels are high off the ground, bend your knees, sending your hips up towards the ceiling. Take one more inhale here. Exhale, step your feet to the top of the mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way to the top. Utthita Hastasana, Tadasana. We're going to do that one more time. Inhale brings you up. Exhale folds you down, hinging at the hips. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, bend your knees, hands by your sides. Step to plank. Hold your plank. One more plank like this. Shoulders are stacked over the wrists. Take one more inhale. Exhale, lower halfway to chaturanga. Stay with me. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, halfway down. Inhale, high plank. Last time. Exhale, halfway down. Flip your feet. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha. So you're on your hands. The tops of your feet, your thighs are not on the ground. Exhale, Adho Mukha, downward facing dog. 3 more breaths here. If you haven't begun to do so already, breathe with an Ujjayi breath, which is like fogging up the window with your mouth closed. It should sound like a rumble at the base of your throat. With your next inhale, come high on the balls of your feet. And on the exhale, step your feet to the top of the mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way to the top. Utthita Hastasana, Tadasana. One more Surya Namaskar A. Inhale brings you up. Exhale, folds you down. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, bend your knees, hands by your side. Step or float. Chaturanga Dandasana. If you're floating, you'll land on bent elbows. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha. Exhale, Adho Mukha. Float your right foot up towards the ceiling. Step your foot by your right thumb. Spin your left heel down. Inhale, Virabhadrasana 1. As you come into your warrior 1, squaring off your ribs to the front of the mat, your big toe, the pinky toe of your left foot is grounded on the mat, nice and heavy. Spin your biceps in towards one another. Firm the triceps on the outside. Square it off, nice and heavy through all 4 corners of your right foot. One more inhale, touch your palms. Exhale, float your hands to the ground, pivot on the ball of the left foot, step your right foot back, move through this vinyasa to come to downward facing dog. Float your left foot up towards the ceiling, step your foot by your left thumb, spin your right heel down, inhale, Virabhadrasana 1, warrior 1, squaring off your ribs to the front of the mat, making sure that in your back foot, you're on the pinky toe side so your knee doesn't drop down, but it rolls slightly to the back. One more inhale, glance up, touch your palms. Exhale, float your hands down, pivot on the ball of the right, step your left foot back, move through your vinyasa to come to downward facing dog. 3 more breaths here. Making sure you have blocks at the top of your mat when you're ready to go back to Downward dog. And back to downward dog. Float your right foot up towards the ceiling. Step your right foot by your right thumb. Spin your left heel down. Warrior 2 feet. So right heel bisects the middle of your left foot. Block behind your right ankle. Your right hand comes on the block. Left hand comes up towards the ceiling. Extended side angle. Your drishti is towards your left thumb, unless that hurts your neck, in which case look down. You can adjust the height of your block. Also try not to collapse all your weight onto the block. So no matter which height you're on, try to make that be a light and airy. Imagine that you don't even need to be on the block. You could even just have your arm out extended. So different options here. The drishti is towards the thumb. As I mentioned, the line of energy is from the bottom hand to the top. Take one more inhale, and you can, of course, have your left arm up all the way forward from the left heel to the left fingertips. Exhale, Virabhadrasana to Warrior 2. As you come into your Warrior 2, drop your left palm, flip the right, come into Reverse Warrior. As you inhale, straighten out your right knee, Reverse Trikonasana. Exhale, reach forward, hinging at the hips, right hand on block. Left hand comes up with Theta Trikonasana or triangle. Stay here with your breath. With every inhale, see if you can grow taller. Imagine there's a string coming from the top of your head. With every exhale, rotate. Inhale to grow taller. Exhale to rotate. Take one more inhale like this. When you exhale, left hand on left hip. Take your block into your right hand. Begin to bend into your right knee. Step that block about 6 to 8 inches forward. Float your left leg up. Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. Add your left arm. So now your right hand stacked below the left. Squaring off that left. Flexing your left foot, and your left leg is at hip height. So nice and strong through the top leg. Left hand comes up towards the ceiling, and you once again see if you can lighten the load in your right hand. Take one more inhale. Exhale, begin to bend into your right knee. Slowly transition to Virabhadrasana 2. And now pivoting it on your feet to face the other way. So now your left foot is forward, right foot is back. Left heel bisects the middle of your right foot. Once again, grab your block, place it behind your left ankle. From your Warrior 2, simply bring your left hand down to the block. Right hand comes up overhead, or you can extend it forward, extended side angle. So both are valid variations. Some more about the goal of where you're trying to be right now. There's a line of energy from hand to hand or from foot to hand. Take one more inhale here. As you exhale, come back to Virabhadrasana 2. Drop your right palm, flip the left, come into Reverse Warrior. Straighten out the left knee. Reverse Trikonasana. Exhale, lean forward, hinging at the hips. Left hand comes onto block or onto your left foot, but not onto your ankle. Right hand comes up towards the ceiling. With every inhale, see that you can grow taller. With every exhale, rotate around your axis. Inhale to grow. Exhale to rotate. Imagine that your ribs are rotating. So the top part of the ribs goes back. The bottom part goes forward. It's almost like you are a doll where your legs are separate from the top part of your body. And also do a micro bend into your left knee, especially if you have hypermobility in your knees. So you don't want to lock it out. You don't want to try not to make it feel like you need to feel something. Just try to do a micro bend in that knee. Take one more inhale. As you exhale, bend into your left knee. Step your left Step your block forward, right arm comes up, Ardha Chandrasana or half moon. Flex your top ankle, it's hip height. Right hand stacks over the left. Again, see if you can lighten the load on that block. Half moon. Today happens to be a full moon. The day I'm recording this is a full moon. Almost the equinox. Take one more inhale, glance up. You're in your half moon. Exhale, bend into the left knee. Come back to Virabhadrasana 2. Now straighten out both knees. Turn your big toes in. Heels turn out. You can either grab your strap or interlace your hands behind your back. If you're interlacing from behind your back, starting from your sacrum, which is that flat, bony surface at the base of your spine, which is where you can place a block for supported bridge pose. So starting here, bring your elbows back and up towards one another. Inhale, peel your arms away, and exhale, fold forward. Prasarita Padottanasana, variation C. With every inhale, see if you can peel your arms away. With every exhale, fold forward. You can also shake your head side to side if you're feeling any tension in your neck, in your shoulders. Micro bend your knees and place the weight into your toes, out of your heels. Take one more inhale here. Exhale, release your hands. Heel toe your feet towards one another until you're about hip width apart. And now holding on to opposite elbows, hang in ragdoll. Let your head hang and swing side to side. If you have any tension in your neck, you can interlace your hands and place your hands at the base of your skull to help you just relax your neck. So both are great variations. When you're ready, return your fingertips back to the ground. You can move through a vinyasa or simply come back into downward facing dog. Whenever you return back to downward dog, I'll give yourself a moment to check in. If it feels like you're in alignment, you're in the right places. Your big toes turn in, heels slightly turn out, and your heels are lifted. If your heels are lifted, your knees are bent. Maybe you're able to press your heels towards the ground, but if that means you're rounding through your spine, then you should bend those knees slightly so that you're not rounding through your spine. So we don't want to round. We want to try to make this more of a pyramid shape. So think about your downward dog as being kind of a little triangle shape. So you don't want to round. You want it to be more of a V. So less of a U, more of a V. Less of a U, more of a V. Here we go. So trying to make our V shape over here. Find a little bit of standing work. Float your right foot up towards the ceiling. Step your foot by your right thumb. Spin your left heel down. Grab your block. Place it on the inside of your right ankle. Inhale, Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. Straighten out your right knee. Float your left, so right hand goes back, left hand forward. Left hand on the block, right hand up towards the ceiling. Parvrita Utthita Trikonasana, this is your revolved triangle pose. Drishtis towards your right thumb. Take one more inhale. As you exhale, bend into your right knee. Take your block, move it forward about 6 to 8 inches. Left foot comes off the ground. Left hand on left block, but left foot is lifted. Imagine there's a wall at the end of your mat and you're standing on that wall. Take one more inhale. You can do this. Exhale, release your right hand to the mat. Maybe move that block out of the way. Fingertips on the ground. Point your left foot up towards the ceiling. Point your toes up. Standing split. Nice and tall. One more inhale. Exhale, bend into the right knee. Let your left foot come to the ground. Move through your vinyasa. Or simply come to downward facing dog. Final side. Float your left foot up towards the ceiling. Step your foot by your left thumb. Spin your right heel down. Grab your block. Place it on the inside of your left foot. Inhale, Virabhadrasana 1. As you exhale, begin to straighten out your left knee. Begin to pivot so your right hand goes forward, left hand back. Right hand on that block. Left comes up towards the ceiling. Your drishti is towards your left thumb unless that hurts your neck. And this is a direct line of energy from your right hand to the left. Pavrita Utthita Trikonasana, or revolved triangle. Take one more inhale here. As you exhale, bend into the left knee. You can have your left hand come on your left hip. Take your block, move it forward about 6 to 8 inches. Float your right leg up and add your left. Imagine that you're standing on an invisible wall with your right foot on the wall. Float it up a tiny bit higher. You can do this. One more inhale. And release. Hands come to the ground. Allow your right foot to come up towards the ceiling. Standing split. Walk your fingers towards your left ankle. Perhaps you even hold on to your left ankle. Nice and easy. You got this. You can do it. One more inhale. Exhale, release. Right foot comes to the ground. Hands to the mat. Step your left foot back. Move through this vinyasa to come to downward facing dog. Bring your knees to the ground. Cross your shins. Come onto your back. As you come onto your back, make sure you have your props within reach. As we begin our cool down, and today I'm going to have a blanket at the wall. So legs up the wall is a great way to take a Shavasana. So one of your blankets can go right up against the wall. We'll get there in just a moment. Bring your knees into your chest. Give them a gentle squeeze. Rock a bit from side to side. Drop your knees to the left, using your left hand on top. Gaze to the right. Supine twist. Twisting to the right. Switch to the other side. Let your scoot your hips over. Let your knees drop to the right. Use your right hand on top. Gaze to the left. Ready, come back to the middle and set up for your final resting pose. I'm going to set up in legs up the wall, which also means I'm going to grab a blanket to place over my belly. You can also do traditional Shavasana, extending your legs down the mat. With legs up the wall, there's a blanket up against the wall. I'm going to sit on this blanket, send my legs up, and scooch your hips up, and then simply allow yourself to be fully supported. Your legs are all the way on the wall. You can take any kind of blanket, place it over your belly and your chest. Allow your palms to face the ceiling. Rest deeply. Shavasana. Thanks so much for practicing. Namaste.